this is a little bit of a trigger warning. Welcome back to the Team 12 Seattle Seahawks podcast. I'm Rose Team 12s, and today we're going to be doing some power rankings. So, to start it off, at number 8, I have the 49ers. Hear me out. The 49ers sustained quite a few injuries in this game. Fred Warner, he got injured. Jimmy Garoppolo, he had an injured hand, and then he injured his throwing shoulder. So, injured hand on the throwing arm, injured shoulder on the throwing arm. You might not even be playing on Sunday. Your offensive line, still healthy. Your wide receiver is still healthy. All your receiving core, still healthy. Running backs, good. Quarterback has a busted up arm in the playoffs, and he's your starter. You might have to start rookie Trey Lance in the playoffs this coming week. That's not good. If you're starting your backup in the playoffs, unless you're the Eagles when they won the Super Bowl, you're probably not going to win, and you're probably instantly slotted down to the bottom. Then, on top of that, Nick Bosa, he had a concussion, and he might not even clear concussion protocols to play in this coming game. So, if you're down your starting quarterback and your best defensive player, then on top of that, your cornerback group is really slim. Yes, you had a great game against the Cowboys and won, but your cornerback group is still thin. Your defensive line becomes thin. Your quarterback is a backup. So, that's why I have the 49ers all the way down here. And even if, say, Jimmy Garoppolo plays and Nick Bosa plays, I still believe the Bengals and the rest of the teams are slightly better than them. Up next, I have the Bengals. So with the Bengals and the 49ers, there's a tier drop-off with those two teams. Those two teams are the bottom tier of the rest of the playoff teams. Don't get me wrong, there's two still amazing teams. It's just they're not as good as the rest of the teams in the playoffs. The rest of the teams in the playoffs, they're almost interchangeable in my rankings. It's just little minute, tiny differences in their teams that I like a little bit more about other teams. But Bengals here, I have them at 7. Joe Burrow, amazing. Jamar Chase, amazing. Entire team's healthy. Trey Hendrickson, I'm pretty sure that's the name of their star defensive lineman. He's a beast. I'm pretty sure that he had a concussion in the first game and he couldn't play, but I'm pretty sure he's clearing concussion protocols right now and he's able to play in this coming game. And their defense overall needs a hint of help. Overall, their defense is kind of just middle of the road NFL defense. But their offense, if their offense can carry them and Jamar Chase can do his thing, Joe Burrow can do his thing, Joe Mixon can go crazy, then I think they have a chance in any game. But that's why I have them this low, because they're just not slightly at that tier of the rest of the playoff teams. At number 6, I have the Titans. I hate having the Titans at number 6. I absolutely hate it with a passion. But when I look at the rest of the teams, it's probably just because I've just watched the rest of the teams. Well, it is because I just watched the rest of the teams except for the Packers. And I just watched them all win. I just watched them all have a really solid game. I watched them all have a great game. And the fact that Derrick Henry, maybe he has to knock off some rust. Rusty Derrick Henry. Maybe Rusty Russ. Remember that? Remember how Dave Bakhtiari, he had to knock off some rust? Every single player, if they have a major injury and when they're coming back, they have to knock off some rust. So Derrick Henry, he might go off. He might have a normal Derrick Henry game. But there's always that chance that he's not inhuman. He's not Superman. He's just like the rest of the NFL players. Just he's a freak athlete compared to them, and an absolute monster. And that he might have to knock off some rust. He's human. He's a professional football player. But if he doesn't have to knock off rust, well, good luck, because Derrick Henry will be running on Sunday. So, yeah, I think that Tannehill, I think he can do solid. If Derrick Henry isn't full health and rolling, then I don't think they win. But, I don't know, their defense is solid. Their wide receivers, they go crazy. And Derrick Henry's a beast. So, we'll see what they can do. I think they have a chance. But there's some rust and there's just stuff they need to overall work out a little bit, and I don't know if they can do it. Next up, I have the Chiefs. I also hate having the Chiefs here, but it's where I have to have them. They played the worst team in the playoffs, and yes, they did score 40 points. But if you scored 40 points on the Bengals and you win, or you score 40 points on the Cardinals and you win, or just any other playoff team other than the Raiders, Steelers, and the Eagles, I will have you higher. But you did it against the worst team, so it automatically puts a little bit of an asterisk on that win, and I don't 100% know if you are as good as the rest of these playoff teams. So with the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, everybody on that team finished out amazing going into the playoffs. They are hot, but I don't know if they're as hot as the rest of these playoff teams, because the rest of these playoff teams, in my opinion, they play better in their games. So, except for maybe the Buccaneers, but yeah, I might have the Buccaneers and the Bengals switch after I finish thinking this out. But yeah, I think the Chiefs are right below the Buccaneers, and I think the Bucs are just slightly better just because of Tom Brady, and that's why Tom Brady edges out Patrick Mahomes, because Tom Brady's the GOAT, and you can't have baby GOAT pass up GOAT. So for now, I have the Chiefs at forgot what number for some odd reason. I have the Chiefs at number 5. Yeah, because Titans were number 6. Yeah, I have the Chiefs at 5, and I feel happy about that decision. And when I look at my list, I can't bring myself to put them higher than the teams above them. So yeah, I have the Chiefs at 5, and Patrick Mahomes, he's really good. Tyreek Hill, really good. Travis Kelce, really good. Defense, playing good. I think they always have a chance. Really, any of these teams are all interchangeable. So Chiefs at 5, and on to the next team. Up next, I have the Buccaneers. I probably could have changed the Buccaneers and Chiefs. Those are definitely my closest opinion on teams that could be flipped. But I'm sticking with it. I think the Bucs are at 4 and the Chiefs are at 5. With the Buccaneers, yes, you have no Chris Godwin. Yes, you have no AB. Yes, Tristan Wirfs might be out. And yes, your cornerbacks and your rest of your defense hasn't been as good as it was last year. But you still got Tom Brady. You still have Mike Evans. The rest of your offensive line is still pretty good. Your running backs, Rojo and Leonard Fournette, they come back this week. Then Gronk, he's really good as well. Then on the defensive line, still really good. Linebackers, all your linebackers are really good. I'm pretty sure Levante David came back. Shaq Barrett, I'm pretty sure he came back. If he didn't, he's back this week. In your defense, it's back to full health, except for the cornerbacks, because those are always somehow injured on the Buccaneers this year. Buccaneers are a really good team, and the only reason I have them above the Chiefs and the teams below them is because of Tom Brady. Tom Brady carries this ranking, because Tom Brady's the GOAT, and he makes stuff happen. He's never had the most talented roster in NFL history. Maybe, he probably has. Probably like 2007 or something like that. But Tom Brady is the GOAT, and that's why you're here. Because Tom Brady, he goes crazy. He got Mike Evans, he got Gronk, he got Rojo, that he turned into a better James White. So that's why I have the Buccaneers at 4, and I think they can definitely go all the way. And yeah, that's my opinion, and I'm just babbling. So on to the next team. Next up, I have the Rams. So with the Rams, yes, you played an inferior opponent that sucks compared to a lot of teams that could have been in the playoffs. Because the Cardinals had their Steelers, Seahawks of last year collapse at the end of the season. It was bad. Overall, I think the Cardinals in the second half of the season played like they weren't even a playoff team. And the first half Cardinals played like a Super Bowl team. Second half Cardinals, that's what you got in this game. And Kyler Murray sucked. Running back, I don't even know what happened to their offense over the season, but it sucked. Rams, you didn't just beat a bad opponent. You stomped them, not just with the score, but on the field when I was watching it, you obliterated them. The entire time, Cam Akers looked amazing. He got him back after 6 months of rehab from an Achilles tear. That's a 9-month injury, a 12-month injury where you're not 100% for a year and a half, and he's coming back in 6 months, because you can come back to the field in like 6 months, you can come back to the field in 9 months, but you're not fully healthy and feel completely amazing and sturdy for like a year and a half on Achilles tears and ACL tears. So for him to be back in 6 months and look this explosive and this durable and just grind out yards, he knocked off that rust in week 18. This week, he played great. I don't think he had the most yards in the world. I think he had like probably 70 or so. But there were some angry runs in there. There were some runs where he was just grinding out probably 5 yards when like 3 guys were just full speed running into the side of him, and he just kept grinding yards. It was amazing. It was great to watch. Just a truly impressive feat, and it was awesome. Then Matthew Stafford, he didn't throw interceptions. Yes, he only had like 15 attempts or 17 attempts, but he didn't throw a single interception. And with those throws that he had, he was on some nice throws. So on top of that, with their offensive line being really solid, wide receivers, OBJ, let's go OBJ. You got your first win. Matthew Stafford got his first win. You got your first touchdown. Yeah, nice job. Then their defense, corners, really good. Safeties, I saw Weddle out there. That was cool. See Eric Weddle back on the field. That was pretty cool. The linebackers, you got Von Miller, you got Leonard Floyd. Then on the defensive line, you got Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald taking up two blockers. Leonard Floyd on a blitz, he's taking up a blocker and a chip block. Then Von Miller, you just got a one-on-one on the edge. Von Miller on a 1-1. Yes, he's not the great player that he used to be, but he's not washed. He's still a pretty good player. So Von Miller on the edge with one rusher, then Aaron Donald getting doubled, and Floyd. And then you have your 1 or 2 other defensive linemen. You've got to get a sack. So I don't know. That Rams defense is looking pretty scary in the playoffs right now, and I would not want to be playing the Rams. So that's why I have the Rams at number 3. Their offense looks on point right now, and their defense looks like the best defense in the playoffs. At number 2, I have the Bills. But the Bills, you dominated the Patriots. Josh Allen, on point. Offensive line, played amazing. Wide receivers played great. Dawson Knox made a crazy catch in the corner of the end zone, where Josh Allen, he was just trying to throw it away. The fans were confused. Fans weren't confused. Josh Allen was confused when the fans were cheering. He was like, wait, why are they cheering? I just threw it away. He threw a touchdown when he tried to throw it away. So that was pretty awesome. Their defense played great. Cornerbacks, I don't know how, well, I do know. Their safeties. There are 2 safeties, absolutely amazing. Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde. Best safety duo in the NFL. And they made, I'm pretty sure it's Jordan Poyer. It may have been Micah Hyde. I'm pretty sure it was Poyer who made an absolutely amazing interception with a beautiful deep ball by Mac Jones to the end zone to, what's his name, Nelson Aguilar, the guy that drops all the catches when he played for the Eagles. Now he's okay. But he made an insane interception, and it was great. And the thing is, the Patriots aren't just the Eagles, or they're not just the Steelers. The Patriots are a good team. They had the best defense coming into the playoffs. And their offense, sure, it wasn't amazing, and it was mainly run first, plus Mac Jones throwing 10 attempts, but it was still a pretty solid offense, and their game plan was good going into it. The Bills just said, okay, let's just turn on Bigfoot, and we're just going to stomp on them. Because the Patriots, they played decent that game. McCorkle put up a nice drive for a touchdown twice, and their game plan was solid. The Bills just turned on crazy mode and turned on the X Factors in Madden in real life and decided, you know what, let's score 47 on the Patriots, because why not? And let's put ourselves at number 2 in power rankings at least. So yeah, I think Bills are a really good team, and I have them at number 2 because their team, they have X Factors right now, and This is real life. It ain't Madden, and they got Madden X Factors. Number one, you know who it is. It's the Packers. I hate the Packers, but you got Jair Alexander coming back this week. You have Zadarius Smith coming back. Plus, you got Smith is back. You got your best corner, and you had that corner that emerged this season that's been playing absolutely amazing. Had that game-winning interception against the Cardinals. Then Aaron Rodgers, he's a beast. Your offensive line, amazing. Devontae Adams, what do I have to even say about Devontae Adams? He's the best wide receiver in the NFL. Fantasy football, it's Cooper Cup. But in the NFL, you got arguably the best quarterback. You have arguably the best wide receiver. You have the best wide receiver. You have arguably the best offensive line. You have some of the best pass rush with Zadarius Smith, with the Smith brothers being back, and Kenny Clark stuffing up the holes on the defensive line. I don't see really any weaknesses now with Jair coming back, Zadarius coming back for more pass rush. Then your offense just being amazing, and plus you had that extra week of rest. I don't know. Like, there's some rust. Yes, you have to knock rust off for Zadarius, and you have to knock some rust off for Jair. But still, two of the best players at their positions in the NFL. So, I don't know. Packers, it's scary. I think Packers have a solid chance of winning the Super Bowl, but I don't know. They're probably just going to lose to the 49ers in the NFC champion. They're probably just going to lose to the 49ers somehow. Or they're going to just lose in the NFC championship, because that's what they do. Scotty Miller for the touchdown. But yeah, if you did enjoy, please consider liking and subscribing. I edit my videos. I keep doing my description for my outro because top of my description is the same as my outro, where I'm like, if you did enjoy, please consider liking and subscribing. But if you did enjoy, yeah, it's always awesome if you subscribe.